it's Karen from Liongate Farm, and today I am going to teach you how to make the cutest little dolphin ornament for your Christmas. So today we are making this cute little dolphin Christmas ornament. Well, it doesn't have to be a Christmas ornament, but since it has a Santa hat, it's a Christmas ornament. And I adorned him with a little tiny wreath. I've showed this to a few people and they want one, so it'll be a good addition to your craft fairs. It's fairly simple, fairly fast, so hopefully today will be quick. I don't even have like samples made up. So I do have a cheat sheet that will be in the notes. You need a couple wires, a 7.5-inch wire for the body, and then a 4.5-inch wire for the side fins, for these fins, and then a 2-inch wire, which I'll probably cut this down, for this top fin. So all the fins are wired, even the tail. So let's get go. Oh, I was gonna say let's get going, but I didn't go right. You need core wool. This is some Columbia we're gonna play with today. This is granite, I'm pretty sure. Gotta look at my notes. This is drizzle. This is the top, this is the bottom, top coat. A little bit of red for the Santa hat, and then I had some sparkly stuff here for the hat. I'll get that in a minute. Just a little bit of sparkle to go around the hat and make the ball. So let's get busy. So on one end of this wire, you can use pliers, but you don't need to. You're gonna bend a little hooky. That goes in his nose. It doesn't go all the way to the end of his nose, but it goes in his nose. And then if you're looking at the template, I will put them on the website where some of you like to get them from. You're going to bend it along. And then we're just going to make a little whoop-de-doo here. This is going to be his tail. I mean, this is a silly little armature, but what it does is it allows you to pose them because that's going to go that way. All right, so now we're going to wrap some core wool on here. Whoops, wrong one. Boy, I don't know where you're at, but we thought we were having fall weather, but we're not. It's like fake. We had a glorious 2 weeks of fall weather, and now 106 degrees today is back. So I started wrapping just around the tail. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to wrap. I'm not wrapping a lot because I want this tail to be gray, and I don't want it to be too big. And you know how when you wrap certain things with core wool, they get too big. Now, if you're not comfortable wrapping, I'm going to stab this a few times. If you're not comfortable wrapping bare wire, you can wax it up a little bit and make it sticky. But really, the first step, we're just going to cover the wire. Somebody requested a dolphin. They messaged me the other day and said, "Are you going to do a dolphin?" And I'm like, as a matter of fact, I have one on the books, even though Canon wants me to do something different. Next week, we're going to do something fun. We're not going to actually do a how-to video. We're going to do a felt-along, what did we say, Wednesday? What time are we going to do it?
That's up to you.
It's up to me. We'll post it in the websites. We'll do a felt-along, a pumpkin felt-along, because it'll be fun. So get your pumpkin supplies ready. Look, right now it looks like a fish hook. So the shape that we're making, let me straighten out the done guy. We're just making a little teardrop shape with a nose. So I'm going to start back here again. This side of the tail needs a tiny bit more. It's a good place to anchor my core wool. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to wrap. I'm not going all the way to the end because that's where the nose is. I'm going to anchor it, and I'm going to tear off another piece. This is thinner than my regular core wool. Why am I using it? Because I had it out. To tell you the truth, because I had it out. You can already see he's starting to take shape. Now this area right here, I don't want to make this any wider. So I'm going to start up higher this time. Who knew the little porpoise could be so easy? Switch to my pen tool. So again, you have your little template that you're comparing it to. You can see we are getting there. Already, it's that fast. This is such a fast little guy. So I'm gonna make him a little bit wider right here. And now normally I would put my wires in right now for most other projects, not for this one. This one I want to get my head on first. So we know that this part is going to be wider. I think that you're Stuart's favorite person, Cannon. My cat loves Cannon, and he respects Cannon, which he doesn't respect everybody else, because he just sits next to Cannon instead of climbing all over him like he does on everybody else. Cannon has taught him, don't climb on me. So interesting thing. So this bottom jaw part needs to be smooth, whereas up here we have a definite stop on the top of his nose. So we're going to start adding some gray. I mean, I can hear him purring all the way over here. And I am going all the way around. I'm not worrying that this bottom is going to be lighter, because we're just going to color that. I'm just tearing off little tiny strips. So let's color his nose. I'm going to go past where my wire is, because you know if I don't, what will happen is I won't be able to make his mouth. The first one I made of these, it came out way too big for a Christmas tree. Way too big. It was pretty funny. He's around here somewhere. But I was like, whoops, that's not going to work. So then I shrank everything down. So now this little nose piece, we want to make sure that we felt it really, really good. My flowers are going crazy right now, Cannon. They're like over my head tall.
Wow. They're all still healthy?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I spend 90% of my day watering flowers.
Yeah.
if you get that added on and you think it's too long, is it too long? Yeah, it's too long. So I'm going to add some more right here. I'm just going to make a little stack because we want to build this out right here. That's the best thing about felting, is that you can always add. Yeah, see, now that looks exactly right. So as you're felting this, you want to curve this around. I've only seen dolphins up close a couple times, and usually in an aquarium setting. My husband got to see them all the time because he was in the Navy. He said they were pretty cool. So you can see how I smooth this portion out. And we have a stop right there. You can already see it's looking like a dolphin. All right, so let's finish covering the body and cover the tail. It takes very little. I mean, you can make one of these with 1/4 ounce of color. Easy peasy. So out of an ounce, you probably make 5. Probably make 5 of these guys out of a whole ounce. It's a good, fast little ornament to make. Good for a gift. So many people like dolphins. The puppies are growing. Puppies are getting big. Even though they're only 3 weeks, they're eating food now. And we moved them out to a bigger area. Yesterday, they decided, we went out to feed them last night, and they decided they were going to dig under the giant sheep water trough. And they were all under there. And John had to fish them out. It's like, guys, you're too little to be digging like this. It's cooler under there, probably. But we got that all blocked off now. So the last thing I need is my sheep water trough falling on top of my puppies. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just going to cover the rest of this, and then I'll be back in just a minute. Probably like 10 minutes max to finish this. Okay, so I've been working on this guy for about 10 minutes. And what I'm doing is getting him all smooth. He's still pretty squishy, as you can see. So on the tail, I wrap the tail. And you want this to be a little bit flat right here. And you're going to sculpt. This should be pretty firm, the tail's, because the tail's not thick. But let's stab it kind of flat, you know, and be mindful when you're poking in here because there's a wire. It's a little wire, but there's still a wire. You know, make it look like a fishtail. And then you'll go on the bottom and do the same thing. Get this all smooth. If you don't poke all the way through, remember only that much of your needle works. If you don't poke all the way through, you'll have less fuzzies on these flat parts. All right, so here we have our dolphin shape. Next up, we are going to put on the fins. So if you look at the template, and amazingly, I am the same size, the eye is going to be about right there. So I made that with the skewer. But we're going to poke it back a little bit. And then, you know, the other one's going to be there. So let's kind of define where the head is. So we know where the head is. So the fin lands right behind the head. The fins, so we're going to take our skewer and we're going to go through. We're going to send that through, and we're going to take our 4.5-inch wire. Am I right? Yep, 4.5. And we're just going to follow that. You know how I like to do this, follow that skewer through. You might want to push it through further. I was hung up on something there. Once in a while, you have to go through twice with the skewer. So there you have that. And then you're going to find center on both sides. You know, and it doesn't even really matter if you have exactly center. What matters is that you have a little point right there. This is an 18 gauge wire. And we're just going to get a little point because we know that their fins, where'd it go? Where'd my little fin go? Your fins go this way. See, and you thought I was going to make the whole fin. I'm just giving you a little wire there. And then a little 2-inch wire. This one's longer than 2 inches, so we're going to cut it off. Little 2-inch wire. This one I shaped like the fin. Give it a little point. And this guy kind of goes back here. It's not perfectly center, and I'm just working the wire in. You might have to use your skewer or not. So that is not very attached. We're just going to take a little tiny piece. You can, if you don't want to work on it on the Dolphin, take it to your felting pad, which might be easier if you're a beginner. Nothing wrong with being a beginner. That's how it all starts. And felt your little fin. You don't want this super thick. So I'm going to tear off the extra. You got to maintain that little point up here. So the Dolphin fin, it sits back a little bit. And if you put it too far forward, it looks like a shark. Because they kind of look like sharks anyways. But we want it back here. And we're just going to use our extra to attach it. And I'm going to come over here. Whoops. See what happens? I'm not attached. Just know that can happen if you're building it on your pad. The reason I know my husband saw lots of dolphins is because when I made the first one, he's like, the fin is in the wrong place. He goes, I looked at them for months. So pictures are always good. Pull up a picture of a dolphin. Get your dolphin on. So I took out a little extra piece. It's my little wool glue, and I'm working it on. But you can see he's looking like a little dolphin already. The thing about making Christmas ornaments is you don't want them too big. You know, if you cut your own tree in Oregon and you get the tree that you can put stuffed animals in, because there's so much space between the branches, true Charlie Brown trees, you can use big ornaments. But most Christmas trees, you know, you have a maximum of like 3-inch space. So when you're making ornaments for trees, be mindful of that. I like big ornaments on my tree, but I live in Oregon and we cut our own tree a lot of the time. Except when I broke my neck, John made us get a fake tree. So now we have a fake tree. It doesn't smell the same. I like real trees. Because I made him set up a tree. So he ordered a fake tree. It was pretty funny. All right, there's a little fin that way. And now here, we're just going to build. We're going to wrap and build. Notice I'm still using that same 1/4 ounce of wool. So let's build out a fin. Looks just like the one we just built. I mean, conceivably, you could build it the same way. I like it to go through on these ones, on the side ones, though. That wire is only in there kind of as a guide and to hold your fin stiff. Remember, if you don't poke all the way through, it won't be fuzzy on the other side. So nice shallow pokes. If you're using a merino gray, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get the no-hole look. Yeah, they should call this color porpoise because it sure is the right color. So next, after we get these fins on, we're going to put the bottom color on, our contrast color. You don't have, they don't all come this color. I didn't realize dolphins came in so many colors. So I'm using the drizzle, which is a super light gray. And we're just going to take it from the very base of the tail up on, now this is going to be the bottom jaw too. So we're going to draft the piece out. You don't need a lot. I like the drizzle color because it's variegated. And it works in with this granite color really well. Now you can go a little bit out onto the fin, then bring it back up. Let's get a little bit more. countdown to Oregon Flock and Fiber is on. I will be this year in the vendor building, not in the barn. We're not taking sheep. It's kind of a crazy thing. We're going to see how it goes. I don't have any lambs because we didn't have any lambs this year. So normally when I go to Flock and Fiber in the fall, I take lambs. And I don't have any to take because we didn't have any. So I thought, heck, why not just go in the vendor building? And it's climate controlled. What a concept. I am bringing a sheep home, though. Now, we need to make a little bottom jaw. So we're going to make a tiny little ghost. And by that, we're going to draw a little ghost. Fold in the sides. Kind of estimate how big your little ghost needs to be right here at the end. So this is the little tiny bottom jaw. And I'm going to see what happens here. That looks like it will work just fine. And we're going to attach it. Very careful poking here. So as you know me, I like whimsical, so this guy's going to smile. Here's his mouth. Let me get this all poked on here. Be mindful of your finger. Look at him from the front because you want the sides to kind of match. Take your time right here because this is what makes him look cool. So we take it up to the smile, and then this is going to come back down, get these fibers down. Poke this in, sculpt it a little bit up to there. Let's do the other side. We'll define his mouth a little bit more with some black in a minute. But for right now, I'm getting it nice and firm right there. Let's okay, and because I know I have that attached, I'm going to switch to this tool. You can see instead of felting flat, I'm felting this way, and now I'm felting this way. And that's going to build out his little belly a little bit. It's going to round it out. Once you get it more attached, you can see where you need to pay attention. You don't want it to stick out above, along, you want to be able to look down and not see that color. And then this line should continue just right back to the tail. If you want to go out here onto the fin, you can, but don't poke all the way through or your light color will come through. I like to make a little delineation line here. You can see I'm methodically poking it smooth. I'm going in, coming out. I'm still going straight in, straight out. I'm just moving back and forth in a line. That helps get a nice smooth finish too. You got a headache, Cannon.
I'm good.
Do you see that fire last night?
In Ashland?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Whew, we're not out of fire season yet here in Oregon, but luckily nothing has.
Is that what all the smoke is from?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know that there's still the big fire up by Crater Lake. But my friend Jody has a lot of smoke up in the Portland area today too. So I don't know. I don't know where the smoke's coming from today. I didn't look. All right, let's put his face on and then we're about done. You know, I keep seeing more that needs smoothed out. You guys know you can just keep felting and felting and felting. Cannon, I am missing two things. Some black, which should be over there. All right, we rescued some black. So you're going to take a couple fibers. You know what I always say, don't use too many. If you use too many, it makes your mouse look stupid. I'm just going to say it out loud. So use very few fibers and poke them into here. We're going to take it all the way around. If you did get too many, just poke it in. Hopefully you can bury it. So there, that looks good. I need to do a little bit more work right here on the end of his nose. So the thing you want to make sure is their nose is the same all the way out. It doesn't get wider. It just sticks out. It's kind of weird. All right, now a little bit for eyeball. Poke it in there. You can roll it into a ball or I just jam it in there. Stabby, stabby. I mean, the amount of black that you need to make this is minuscule. So if you're going to put blush on, like I put blush on, you're going to go right there. I still want this to be a little bit more defined. Stop. On a dog, this is called the stop. I don't know what it's called on a dolphin. Okay, so next, he needs a Santa hat. Now, get your skewer back out. I don't know if you remember how I make Santa hats. You don't want a big Santa hat. You want a little tiny one. So you got a little piece of your red. And we're just going to wrap a cone. Man, Stuart is so happy you're here. It was just so, I don't know if you all know about my cat, Stuart, but he only has 3 legs. And last Monday was the 10-year anniversary of him having his leg removed.
Wow.
He's an old dude. He's 14.
Wow.
So now we have a cone, but remember what I always tell you when you're using the skewer, before you remove it, let's stab close to the skewer. Be very mindful of your hand. If you don't do that, when you pull this out, the center will come with you. So now we're going to make a nice firm cone. And then you're gonna, my cone got a little bit odd shaped, so I'm gonna stab it back without stabbing my hand like I just did. Work every side of your cone hat. I suppose if you want him to be a gnome dolphin, all you do is this part. I've got a little bit of sparkly white here. Going back to my skewer, I'm just going to make a tiny ball, which starts out like that. I secured it. This time I am not going to stab inside of it because I'm going to attach it there. You guys know tiny felting is harder than big felting. Let's shove the top of that hat in their ball. Okay, again, shallow felting, because if you go all the way through, you're going to see red coming out your white. And make it look like a ball. Felt all the way around. I hate when I see things that are supposed to be ball-shaped that are not ball-shaped. Now we're going to attach it to his head. Now he just looks like birthday dolphin. I suppose you could do birthday dolphins with polka dotted hats. People like to pick these up from the hat, so make sure it is secured pretty well. And then take a little piece of your sparkly, and we're going to wrap it around to make the brim. Now we're going to clean up all these white fibers. So there's not really a lot of felting on the brim because we just wrapped it around. Now we're felting it down in from the top. This is Merino Stellina, so y'all know that if you stab Merino Stellina from the side, it's going to show holes. But we don't need to because we just wrapped it. We're just tucking it in, getting all the stray fibers. And that is all there is to this guy. You can put a wreath on him. I put a wreath on this one with a bow and a little bell. It's up to you what you want to put on. But I love how they're wired because you can make them do whatever you want. He can jump this way. When I strung the fishing line, what was our poll last week? Who won? fishing line or red and white twine? Was it tied?
It was kind of even.
Kind of
Yeah,
even.
it was.
I prefer fishing line because you can't see it. Yeah, on my sheep, my hanging sheep, I do twine just because it's rustic. But I do the fishing line right between the fin and the hat to hang it. And that's all she wrote. So we will see you next week. We're going to do, I think we decided we'll do Wednesday. We're going to do a felt along, a live felt along YouTube. You can ask live questions. This might be kind of fun. We'll figure out a time for you. If you have a time you prefer, post it and we'll see what we can do. And you know I'm just going to keep felting on this because I cannot ever stop. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope you had fun making these cute little dolphin ornaments. And if you liked it, click like and then follow us because it really helps us out. And if you need supplies, head over to liongate.org, click on the farm store and order to your heart's content. See you next time.